She's got a future, our Miranda. We're joined by Suzanne Evans from UKIP. Welcome to the programme. Let's start on the TV election debates. Quick questions to all of you, short answers, please. Will the debates happen?
I hope so. I certainly hope so, as long as David Cameron stops holding the broadcasters to ransom and the broadcasters stand up to David Cameron.
David Cameron won't be taking part in any TV debates.
I don't think they'll take place, and I certainly don't think the broadcasters will dare to empty chair him.
If they don't happen, will it be David Cameron's fault?
Yes, I think it will. Let's not forget, before the 2010 elections, he said firmly that he wanted the debates to happen. So he's the one that's now putting the spanner in the works. So yes, it will be. Will
David Cameron get the blame? Will it matter?
He'll get the blame because, unlike no Prime Minister wants to do these head-to-heads TV debates, but he's the one who harangued Gordon Brown about this. He's the one who said it was fundamental to democracy. So I doubt if he will take a huge hit on it, frankly. But if, he deserves to take at least a bit of a hit because he didn't have to say all. He didn't have to say 2 weeks ago, I'm happy to go head-to-head. Prime Minister's questions to Ed Miliband.
Because clearly he's not. Michael?
Well, he takes the hit now, and that's the calculation, that all this will be forgotten by the time we actually get into the general election. And, by the way, it isn't the media who run the world.
Really? When did that happen?
I think that, in a way, is a point he's trying to make. Of course the media want these debates to take place, and guess what? The Prime Minister doesn't want them.
Which leader do you think needs the debates most?
Ooh, good question. I would argue probably Ed Miliband. Because if he can do the debates, if they happen, and he can show what he's made of, which, of course, I'm going to say I doubt, because I don't think he's Prime Minister material, then I suppose he
Then it could be a turning point in perceptions towards him if he was to do that, correct?
I think it could.
Which is probably why Mr Cameron doesn't want to take the risk.
Yeah, but I think it's also why perhaps Cameron is, in my opinion, rather silly not to take the risk, because I don't see how he could come off any worse than Ed Miliband, personally.
Probably is Ed Miliband who would benefit most from the debates if he performed well.
The leader of the opposition always, the advice to a Prime Minister is, you have nothing to win, nothing to gain from this. Leader of the opposition has everything to gain. And that's been the advice to Prime Ministers ever since television was invented.
I think one of the reasons why Cameron also doesn't want to take part is because he doesn't want to have to face up to Nigel Farage, who he thinks will probably trump him like he did Nick Clegg. Yeah, but I think you'd agree with me on the side, probably.
We would never say anything. Let me move on to briefly, Michael.
Well, the whole game is to try to destroy Ed Miliband's credibility between now and the election, and the Conservatives think that if he has to do a lot of head-to-head interviews with top-class interviewers, that will be where he comes unstuck. Much more likely that he come unstuck in that situation than in the debate.
All right. Immigration been the big issue for all the parties this week, really. Why have you dumped the 50,000 cap on immigration?
We haven't. I'm afraid this is really media mischief-making. Although I know I've only been writing the manifesto for UKIP since January, I have been Deputy Chairman with responsibility for oversight of policy since July last year.
So will the manifesto contain the 50,000 cap?
No, it won't, because
so you have dumped it.
It's never been. We never had it. What I'm trying to say
I'm sorry.
is,
You and Mr. Wolfe appeared with me on the Daily Politics, and we can't run it on the tape now, but it's in the BBC archives. It's on iPlayer. He said there would be a 50,000 gross cap covering the EU and non-EU, and not net. Gross, he said.
He's the immigration spokesman.
Yes, and he's your spokesman.
It was news to me. It was certainly news to us in the policy team, and I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding. fundamental misunderstanding
here. Your immigration spokesman doesn't know his own policy.
What I can say is that we've always said that we want, and Nigel again has said it this week. We want immigration to turn to normal. We value immigration when it's controlled, when it's contributing to the economy. And Nigel's always been quite clear. He said normality is really somewhere between 20 and 50,000, and so I think that's where this sort of myth of the 50,000 cap has come from. But we won't be having a cap because
we've got a points-based system now. We've had it for 6 years.
Yes, but it's not working, is it, Alan? That's the thing. It's simply not working.
We haven't. No unskilled workers have come in under Tier 4 of that.
Actually, I think there were about 27,000 last year.
What are you talking about? Outside the EU?
Outside the. And we're certainly saying that there would be about 27,000 skilled migrants coming in under UKIP's potential Australian-style points-based system.
All right. It was a tactical mistake, I put it no higher than that, of UKIP to be seen, certainly to be interpreted as changing the policy at the very time when the Tories totally failed to hit. They overshot their supposed target by a factor of 3. Would it not be advisable for them now just to drop a target?
Who?
The Tories.
Oh, the Tories. Yes, no, I don't think the Tories should have a target. But just to go to the logic of this, the reason why the Tories can't have a target is they believe in being in the European Union. If you're in the European Union, you cannot control your immigration. Right. What I don't quite understand is why UKIP doesn't say, we believe in leaving the European Union, and if we left the European Union, we could control our immigration.
We
That's
do.
it.
That's exactly what
Well,
we say.
why don't you say that instead of getting all this business about 50,000?
We do say that. As I say, this wasn't something. This wasn't an argument that everyone wanted to have about the 50,000 cap, but it's not. It's not going to be party
why
policy.
don't you give us a cap?
Because we don't actually want, and this is why we've also announced that this week that we're going to set up this Migration Control Commission. So that will be well, it's not quite a quango. It's going to be.
There was a Migration Control Commission in the thick of it. There was an episode in the thick of it with a Migration Control Commission.
Well, I'm glad I missed that episode then. What we're going to do is set up this commission. So we've got an independent group of people, stakeholders, who can give advice on migration. But the difference between that and a quango is it will have the specific remit to cut immigration. That's the difference.
Oh, right. That sounds an important difference.
Do you know one of the biggest... we talk about net migration and we talk about incoming migrants. About a third of those are Brits coming back to Britain.
Yes.
About
you can't stop coming in.
It's not. They're coming back.
Your leader says you're going to win about 10 parliamentary...
Well, we're going to, of course, if they're British passport holders, they're going to come back.
Your leader said you're going to win about 10 parliamentary seats. How many do you think you're going to win?
I have to agree with Nigel, don't I? I think 10 would be great. That's double figures, at least more than that. I think.
Why do you have to agree? You contradict each other.
Well, I was going to say.
Else.
I think previously I have.
You've just dissed the immigration spokesman, so why not diss your leader as well?
No, we're going to aim for as many as we can. Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Okay, thank you very much.